Okay. So just allowing yourselves to settle and completely yield, completely allow yourself to give in to the ground for a few breaths, and I'll sort of talk a little bit just about flexibility. So obviously our flexibility decreases as we get older. And of course a sedentary lifestyle can accelerate that as well. So we really do need to keep moving. And the whole point of flexibility is that we can keep our whole range of movement. So reaching, bending, twisting, being able to do that, so we're able to stay self-sufficient, yeah, and just operating. Those are the things that we need to do: getting dressed, cooking for ourselves, keeping our houses tidy and clean, getting out and about. And of course, being flexible keeps you flexible. You know, it's a circle, so we need to keep working on it. Also, of course, it's totally individual. So the size of the bones and the joints really have a bearing on it as well. So of course, there's people that are a lot more flexible in different ways than others. And the tendons and the ligaments. The tendons are the ones that join muscle to bone. We don't really want to ever stretch them, but has a bearing on how much we bend in certain joints as well. And of course, the ligaments are what give the two bones stability. So they sort of anchor things almost together to make sure they're stable. They are not what we want to stretch or move. It's the muscles. And when we're working with our muscles, when we're stretching, if we feel any sensation, we want to feel the sensation in the middle of the muscle, not near the joint, really near the joint, because that's when we're probably getting into stretching the tendons too much, or maybe even feeling the ligaments. Also, so our age is of course relevant. Past injuries, or if we've been ill, that can have a really big effect on our muscles and the way our body is working, and it could limit or maybe enhance flexibility. I mean, arthritis, they've done loads of research into arthritis, and of course, when we're being flexible and moving around, we're nourishing our joints. So arthritis has been really proven to ease arthritis. Particularly, I know a couple of women in particular who had arthritis of the hips diagnosed in their 50s, and they started yoga and quite regularly a week, and the doctors that were amazed that the signs of arthritis diminished so quickly. So, you know, yeah, the yoga is good at that. Pilates as well. I think Pilates is good, really good for strengthening as well. And so the combination of flexibility and strength. That's it, I think. So, yeah, and it's about really noticing your own body as we work. So noticing where you can feel the stretches and everything. Of course, we're talking about the mental body as well. So the mental body would be talking about being, you know, your ability to adapt and willing to change and going with the flow and just accepting inevitable changes and trying to let go of how you think things are supposed to be, and maybe just accepting how things are. And also noticing our emotions, how flexible our emotions are. So noticing our emotions helps us adapt to situations. So notice how we're feeling emotionally about certain things arising, not judging our emotions, but just accepting them. As soon as you start to sort of accept, this is how I'm feeling about this, usually it just becomes easier to accept, however you're reacting emotionally. So yeah, just accepting how we feel. So that's it really. So we're going to work, do a nice sequence, working all the way through the body. So as I said, just allow your bodies to completely release. Just going to check I've got the right microphone on. Right. Just notice your breath here. As you inhale, feel the body expanding. And as you exhale, really feel that release to the ground. Inhale, feel the breath traveling down through the nostrils, filling the lungs, feeling the movement in the body. And exhale, releasing the body. Just have a little scan through the body and notice, first of all, just notice without moving, just take your mind's eye down to how are the toe joints maybe, how are the ankle joints? How do your knees feel today? Not making any judgments or anything, just feeling. How are your hips today? How do you think your hips are feeling? Sometimes before we've moved, we're not quite sure. How do your shoulders feel, your elbows, your wrists and fingers? How's your neck doing today? And the jaw is quite a joint that can really show, you know, it can have a lot going on in it, even though we don't think about it a lot of the time. It might be where we hold a lot of tension as well in our jaw. So take one nice long deep inhalation in through the nose. And let's just sigh out through the mouth. Bring the legs loosely together so they're just directly in line with the hips, and bring the arms down by the sides of the body. And let's just inhale and raise the arms up above the head. And exhale, bring them back down by the side of the body. Inhaling up, feel the whole length of the body against the ground. And exhale down. Just feel that motion in the shoulders as well. And then just inhale and bring the arms up above the head. Notice how it immediately opens up the chest, the front of the chest. So we're already creating more space around the lungs. And let's all stretch through the right side. Breathe into that right side. And then the left side, breathe into the left side. And then maybe diagonally, let's breathe right arm down to the left tips of the toes. And then left arm right down to the tip of the right toes. And then just open the body up into a star shape and stretch through the body in a star shape. Inhale into the whole body as if the breath is reaching every tip of the finger, tip of the toes. Exhale, let the body soften. Bring the legs back together, keep the arms above the head, have the arms, so you're nice, sort of lying down to Tadasana, the arms above the head. We're going to inhale here and exhale. Bring the left knee to the chest and squeeze it in. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, right knee to the chest. Inhale, lengthen. Feel the whole body against the ground. And exhale, left knee, squeeze it into the chest. Keep the hips even. Inhale, lengthen. And right knee to the chest. And then lengthen out again. Bring the left knee back to the chest and squeeze it in. Feel the back of the right leg against the ground and feel the shoulders nice and even. And as you inhale, maybe gently press the right leg against the ground, and exhale, draw the left knee towards the chest. Lengthen the left leg up towards the ceiling and point and flex the foot. And then bend and stretch the knee. And then just gently press through both heels, maybe holding behind the thigh. Just feel that stretch in the hamstring. And then we're going to bend the knee, place the left hand on the knee, just take the knee out away from the hip, but keep the right buttock cheek on the floor. So just opening the hips up. And then bring that left knee across, cross it over the right hip, and maybe stretch the left arm out. Feel that lovely stretch across the armpit, the waist. Breath into that. And then bring the knee back to center. Lengthen the leg out, lengthen the arms above the head again. And just notice the body. Notice if there's a difference, if you feel a difference between each side yet, where you might feel it. Inhale, lengthen the body, and exhale, bring the right knee to the chest and squeeze it in. Inhale, press the left leg against the ground. Exhale, draw the right knee to the chest. Lengthen that right leg up to the ceiling and point and flex the foot. Just notice where you feel that in your leg. Bend and straighten the knee. Notice the muscles that move then. And then press through both heels. Keep the breath just going at its own nice natural pace. Bend the knee, place the right hand on the right knee and take the knee out away from the body. About a nice opening across the pelvis, across the hips. And then use the left hand to bring that right knee over to the left, extend the right arm and breathe into that lovely diagonal opening. Twist in the waist. Give the digestive system a little massage. And then knee back to center, lengthen it out, bring the arms back above the head again. Notice both sides of the body. Inhale, lengthen the whole body, and exhale, bring both knees to the chest. So, press the shoulders into the ground. Inhale, press the back of the head into the ground, and exhale, curl the forehead up to the knees. And then layer the spine down. Maybe make a bit more room in the spine. And then we're going to lengthen both legs up to the ceiling and circle the feet around the ankles. So, and the other way. And then press through the heels. Nice to have the legs above the head. Bring the feet touching, bend the knees, bring the hands to the knees. And remember when we push the knees away together and then we bring the knees apart and bring them back to the chest. So we're drawing circles with each knee, keeping the big toes together. So we're pushing away and bringing back apart. Feel into the hips when you do this. And then we're going to reverse the motion. So we're going to bring the knees together towards us and push away apart. So towards, together, away, apart. Notice there's a difference in the hips when you move in the different direction. You could feel it more in one leg than the other. And then come back, hug the knees in. We'll lengthen the arms out to the sides, palms up, and we'll just take the knees over to the right. And take a breath there. And then we'll take the knees over to the left. So of course the spine is one of the main things we want to keep supple as well. So when we're twisting in the waist and everything, a lot of that is to do with the spine. And then back up to center, hug the knees in. Let's take hold maybe behind the thighs, which is your choice, either rock up to sitting or roll over to one side and come up to seated. If you rock, maybe you want to do a couple of rocks. That's it. And then up to seated. That's it. And getting yourselves comfortable. Maybe if you want to sit on something to raise the hips, we're not going to be here too long. We're just going to go through that nice sequence of opening up the hips. Open up the sides of the body more than anything. Working a bit on the shoulders, opening up the shoulders. So just take a breath here and notice how you're feeling after the first part of the practice. Let's just circle the head around actually, first of all. A couple of times in one direction and then the other. So, and back to center. Just look towards the right and then take the head over to the left and back to center. That's it. Drop the ear to the right. And if you just gently turn the head, you notice where you can feel that good stretch and that big muscle that runs from beneath the ear to the shoulder. Just let the head be heavy. Breathe in, take the breath into that muscle. And then bring the head up. And then the other side. You sort of have to just work out where it feels good for you to lengthen the side of the neck. Back up to center. Drop the chin to the chest, feel the back of the neck. And then bring the head up, look at the ceiling, and maybe even push up through the lower jaw. You feel a real stretch at the top. And then back to normal, back to center. Make sure you soften out the jaw. Feel the crown of the head reaching for the ceiling, and the sitting bones really rooting into the ground. That's it. I'm going to bring the hands, fingertips to the sides of the hips, gently press them in to the ground. So you just feel the arms. That's it. And then we're going to press into the right hand and bring the left arm over and just take a breath into that left side. Beginning to open up the intercostal muscles. Inhale here. As you exhale, just bring that left hand down to the right thigh and bring the right hand behind. So coming into that seated twist. Breathe into the twist. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, maybe twist at the waist a little bit more. Keeping the left hand on the thigh. Raise the right hand up and maybe hold on to the thigh, lean back and open up that right side under the armpit through the right side. Breathe into that and then just bringing that left hand round to the knee, bring the right hand down and place it on the knee so the arms are crossed. Lengthen the spine, feel the cross here. And then keeping the cross in the arms, I'm going to hug ourselves. Maybe creep the hands round the shoulder blades and feel that. Take a breath into the back of the shoulder blades. That space, really using the back of the lungs. And then coming into Garuda, eagle arms. Pressing the arms together, releasing the hands. Remember, we either bring the backs of the hands together or hook them round, whichever is good for you. And just raise the elbows up. And take a couple of breaths here. And then release, and bring the arms down. And just notice each shoulder. Bring the hands back to the sides of the hips, lengthen the spine, and then crescenting over to the left. Breathe into that left side, opening up the left now more. Take that right hand down to the left thigh. Bring the right hand, left hand behind, and we're just twisting here. Release the thighs and the legs. It can be real temptation just as we twist, just hold the legs up. Really make sure the legs are nice and heavy and loose and grounded. Take a breathe into that twist, a breath into that twist. And then left arm up, bring the right hand to the knee and just reach back. Breathe into that left side. And then bring the hand down to the knee, the arms across the other way, lengthen the spine, and then hug the shoulder blades, creep the hands round, and take that breath into that space between the shoulder blades again. Keep the arms stacked, coming into eagle arms. Hook the hands round, or just press the back of the hands or arms into each other and raise the arms up. That's it. Noticing the shoulders, breathing into the back of that space between the shoulder blades. And then release the arms down. That's it. Circle the shoulders around. And then the other way. That's it. And we're going to bring the right arm up, and we're just going to do a little stretch. Just draw the elbow. So we want the elbow to be coming up almost behind the head, and just breathing there, making sure the crown of the head is reaching for the ceiling, feeling that really lovely stretch in the outer arm. And then releasing. Left arm comes up, reaches for the gap between the shoulder blades, and same thing this side. So you're just easing it over. And then releasing. Let's just place the fingertips on the shoulders and just circle them around lightly. That's it. And the other way. That's it. And then just shake out the arms, shoulders. Lovely. Coming over onto all fours. Coming onto all fours, tuck the t-shirt in. Knees under hips. Fingers really nicely spread. That's it. We're going to inhale into cow, sorry. Inhale into cow. And just exhale, take the hips back to the child's pose. Inhale up to cow. And exhale, child's pose. And then inhale up to cow. That's it. Tuck the pelvis under and bring the left foot behind and just raise it up. So we're keeping that length along the lower back. Press through the heel and then maybe bring the right arm up and just feel that length. Lower the hand down, bring the knee down. Right foot comes out behind, keeping the pelvis. Remember that the pelvis just tucked under, so the legs just in line with the floor, and then maybe bringing the left arm up. Hand down, knee down. Take the hips back to the heels, lengthen the lower back. And then we're going to snake along the ground to come into cobra. So hug the elbows in. Once again, press the pelvis into the ground. Keep the back of the neck long. Pull the hands gently towards you. Exhale, lower the head down. Tuck the toes under if that's comfortable for you, and press the heels back to the hips. Lengthen the spine, and then walk the hands back. Sweep the arms up into Thunderbolt. That's it. So just lengthening up, feel the length in the sides of the body. Exhale, bring the hands down and place them on the lower back. Draw the elbows towards each other and just open up the front of the body. That's it. And then release, sweep the arms round, untuck the toes, and we'll bring the left leg out to the side. Whatever's more comfortable for you, I'll just show you from the front. Traditionally, we sort of have the foot pointing forward and the outer edge. But if it is more comfortable for you to open the leg up, point your toes, that's absolutely fine. It's just keeping the hips in alignment. So probably when we're pressing into the side of the foot, we're working more on the outer edge. That's it. So gate pose, left arm resting lightly, right arm up and crescent over. Make sure the hips are coming a little bit forward so that we're not folding over, but not too forward, so we're crescenting back. Just breathe into that side of the gate pose. Bring the arm back up, bring the knee in. Same thing the other side, so the right foot comes out, left arm up, and crescent over to the right side. That's it, lovely. Breathing there. Bring the knee back in. Sweep the arms up and then take the hips back. So we're sitting back. Bring the hands to the ground, back into child's pose. That's it. Scoop forward again into cobra. Hug the elbows in, nice long back of the neck. Press the toes into the ground, the hips into the ground. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, lower the head down, tuck the toes under, and take the hips back to the heels. Slightly different feeling when you've got the toes tucked under, and also we're stretching the soles of the feet here. Take a breath into the lovely length in the lower back. And then coming back up to all fours. We're going to bring the left foot behind again. And remember when we do the side stretch, so we bring the left foot out behind and then we're going to flatten it so it's in line with our right knee, right foot. And remember, if you feel a bit unsteady here, you can always bring that right shin out to balance. And then we raise the left arm up, take a breath there, pressing the hips up, thinking about us being as if we were right flat against a wall. And then left arm comes across. That's it. And then really feel that length. Breathe into that length from the left outer edge of the foot right up to the fingertips. One more inhale here. And exhale, lower down to all fours. That's it. I'll turn around so I can see you. Notice each side. And then bring the right foot out behind, same thing. It's in line with the left knee and the left foot, but then adapting that shin, that left shin to where it's good for you, and raising that left arm up. Gently press the hips and the pelvis forward. That's it. And then bring the right arm along the ear. Feel that lovely length in the right side of the body. Breathe into that. One more inhale and exhale, bring the hand down, bring the knee down and take the hips back to the heels. Lengthen the arms out. And then lovely big circles with the hips. So drawing really big, moving the spine in that lovely S shape. So keeping the spine nice and supple. And then the next time, changing direction, the next time. Feeling into that circular motion. That's just going to turn back around. Take the hips back to the heels. Feel into the lower back. Just let the head drop to the floor. And then arms are a little bit wider than the shoulders, fingers really spread. Inhale up to all fours without moving the hands. Tuck the toes under and come up into your downward dog. That's it, lovely. And just really bend each knee, maybe turn the ribs, maybe really accentuate the movement. Keep a little bend in the elbows. And just move from side to side. That's it. And then just come to stillness, press into the hands, press into the balls of the feet. And then we're just going to lower back down onto the knees one more time. I'm going to bring the left foot between the hands into that lunge. If you've got bricks here, remember you can always use the bricks here, but drawing the hips together and feeling that length in the spine. If you haven't got bricks, it's absolutely fine. You can just come to the fingertips and just lengthen. You can even just bring the hand up to the knee if you want and just really feel that length. But we don't want to be letting the hips splay open. We want to be pulling them together as well. And then we're just working on that muscle on the back of the thigh and the front of the thigh, lengthening the spine. That's it. Bring the hands back down to the ground. Tuck the toes under. And maybe step back to a downward dog, or come to the knees first if that's better for you, and come up to downward dog. And just feel that length in the lower back, little bend in the knees. Breathe into the whole of the body, and then roll down to the knees. And bring the right foot forward. Same thing here, maybe you've got the bricks at their highest height, and you're pressing in, drawing the hips towards each other. So you can really see a difference. When I sort of don't bother to draw my hips together, I just sort of drop. I don't want that. I want to be building up the strength around the hips as well as lengthening the muscles in the thighs and the hip flexors. You can either be on the fingertips here or even bring the hands up to the knee and just lengthen. Lovely. And then bringing the hands down to the ground, either taking the knee back to all fours or maybe tucking the toes under, stepping back, downward dog. So taking a breath here. Let's come up onto tiptoes and then gently take the heels to the ground. Up to tiptoes. And take the heels to the ground. And let's walk the feet and the hands together towards each other to the centre of the mat. Little bend in the knees, take hold of both elbows and just let the upper body be really long and heavy. Maybe swing from side to side. So we're just lengthening, particularly the lower back here. Gravity's help lengthen and keep those muscles long in the lower back and the hamstrings. And then we're just going to bend the knees and roll up to standing. So. Feeling the feet on the floor. So let's raise the toes and then lower the toes back down. Lift the heels up just a little bit and then bring them back down. That's it. And just feel the length in the body. So as well as working with the joints, let's think about taking sort of our energy to the major points of the body. So let's interlace the hands, place the hands on top of the head. And just feel the head and really take your mind's eye there and direct the prana, the life force, to the brain, to the head. Inhale here, thinking about the life force going towards your head. And exhale, press the hands into the head. And then inhale, press the palms to the ceiling. And as you exhale, bring the hands down to the chest and think about our heart center. So bringing the energy into our heart center, the life force. Inhale the life force into the heart center. And exhale. And then inhale and press the hands out. And exhale, bring the hands down our abdomen, our stomach. Think about our digestive system when we digest everything. Bring the life force, prana, think about the energy all coming to our abdominal area. Exhale here. And then inhale, just stretch the arms out at an angle. That's it, ears away from shoulders. And release. We'll bring the hands behind, thinking about the spine, so tucking the pelvis in. Just first of all, just have the back of the hands against the base of the pelvis. Inhale, really take your mind into your mind and directing the prana, the life force, into the spine. And exhale. And then inhale, just press the arms away. And lengthen, draw the shoulder blades together. And then release. That's it. And just shake the arms out. Walk towards the front of the mat. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale, raise the arms up. Bring the palms together. Maybe take the arms behind the ears if that's comfortable for you. Tuck the pelvis under and crescent over to the left. Inhale back up to center and crescent over to the right. And then back up to center. Little bend in the knees. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins and halfway lift. And then exhale, forward fold. Let's step the left foot back. Feel that length first of all. And then we're going to lower the knee, untuck the toes, interlace the hands again and bring the hands forward and up and just lengthen the sides of the body. That's it. Press into the front foot and the shin. Inhale, feel the length. And exhale, bring the hands down. I'm going to tuck the toes under, but it's your choice. Maybe you just bring the knee back and then come up into downward dog. Or if you want to come straight up into downward dog, come up into downward dog. Take a breath here. Let's inhale through the palms of the hands, through the body, and exhale down through the back of the legs. Inhale down, back onto the knees. And bring the left foot between the hands. That's it. We'll just tuck the toes under and feel that length like we did at the beginning. When we step the leg back first. Lower the knee and interlace the hands and bring the arms up this side. That's it. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring the hands down. Tuck the toes under and just step forward, back into the forward fold. Let's take the hands to the back of the shins. Let the head be really heavy. Take the weight towards the front of the feet and just breathe in Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend the knees and roll up, back up to standing. That's it, and just take a breath here. And then we're going to come to stand in the middle of the mat again. Lengthen the body out, crown of the head reaching for the ceiling, feet rooting into the ground. Feel that strength in the legs. That's it. And let's just do that jumping out to five-pointed pose. So bend the knees and just spring out. And bring the feet, outer edges of the feet, parallel to the edges of the mat. That's it. Reach from hand to hand. Reach the crown of the head up to the ceiling. Press the whole of the feet into the ground. Lovely. Bring the hands down to the hips. We're going to turn the left toes out first. Feel that you've got even weight on each foot. You might feel when you come into the warrior two, you might feel you need to squidge the toes forward or back. Remember, always want the knee over the ankle. And then let's bring the arms out into the warrior two. And let's just take a breath, gazing over the front middle finger. Really feeling into the warrior two. So think about, the warrior, courageous but not softness and focused. So breathing in, pressing into the legs. And then we're just going to bring the left hand onto the thigh, turn the right palm up, and we're going to inhale, humble warrior, keep the bend of the knee, and exhale, right forearm to thigh, and come over. That's it. Inhale, back into the humble warrior, maybe gaze to the ceiling, and then over to extended side angle. That's it. And then we're going to come back into the humble warrior. Just take a couple of breaths here. Press into the feet as if you're pulling the feet towards each other as well. So you're really engaging the legs. Notice your breath. One more inhale. And then exhale, transition to the extended side angle. Bring the arm up and over. Bend that front knee. Really feel that lovely length from the outer edge of the left foot to the left fingertips. And breathe here. Very little weight on the forearm. That's it. And then back up to warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Bring the feet parallel. And just bend in the knees, slide the hands down the legs, shake the head and nod the head. Slide the hands back up the shins and turn the right toes out. So bend that right knee and then always remember move the foot so that you knee over ankle. And bring the arms out. That's it. Lovely. And gaze over that right middle finger. Pressing into the feet. Noticing the breath here, the softness in the shoulders, the jaws relaxed and the forehead's relaxed. Right palm to thigh, left palm up. Inhale, humble warrior. And exhale, extended side angle. That's it. Inhale, humble warrior. And exhale, extended side angle. And then coming back into the humble warrior, breathing here. Noticing where you can soften here, but where you can also feel the stretch. Inhale. And exhale, transition to the extended angle and then really notice that length from the outer edge of the foot to the fingertips. And then inhale, come back up to the warrior two. Straighten the front leg, feet parallel. And let's interlace the hands behind the back this time. And keep a little bend in the knee, don't push too far, push into the back of the knees. And then just hinging at the hips. Let's come down halfway and just look at the ground and press through the hands. So we're lengthening from crown of the head to the fingers. And then just let the body come towards the ground. Maybe you can bring the arms up, lovely shoulder stretch. Breathe into that stretch. And then release the arms, just let the arms be soft, maybe on the ankles. Just let the head be soft again, shake the head, nod the head. And then bend the knees and roll back up to standing. That's it. Heel, toe, the feet in. That's it. So back to center. And let's do a balance here with a stretch in it. So either having a wall or a chair, something if you feel you need to take hold of. That's it. So we'll start with whichever leg is away from what you're going to hold, from where your support is. So really think about that supporting foot rooting into the ground. Think about the rest of the body lengthening and strengthening. That's it. And then we're just going to take the weight completely into that supporting leg, roll onto the ball of the foot. Remember to find your point that you're focusing on directly in front your drishti point, or it could be sort of look down your nose about 3 meters, a couple of meters ahead. And then when you're feeling steady, you're going to bring the knee up towards the chest. That's it. So you can always do this just holding on as well. And just draw the knee towards you. Keep the breath going. And then we're going to bring the left hand to the hip or to the wall or chair. Whoops. And bring the leg out away from the body. That's it. Bring the leg back to center, hug it in one more time. And then we're going to bring both hands to the hips. I'm going to lengthen the leg out. That's it. And we're going to scoop it through without it touching the ground. And take hold of the foot. And bring the legs parallel so that you're just stretching that quad. You might hold on, or you might bring up the left arm. So you've got a lovely diagonal stretch going on here. You're opening up that front quad. Lovely. Bring the hand down and release the leg. Just pad out the feet. That's it. And I'll move to the other side so that I have this wall here. Take your focus into the sole of the other foot. Think about it being like a pillar, like this side of the body is like the strength of a pillar. That's what's holding you up. Think about your drishti point, your focus point, steady mind, steady eyes, steady mind, could be a steady body. But as we all know, the balance varies every day, minute to minute. Just take a nice couple of gentle breaths. And then when you're feeling steady, rolling onto the ball of the foot and bringing the leg up, hugging it in. That's it. Keeping the breath going. The hand of the supporting leg comes to the hip and we take the leg out away from the hip. That's it. Bring it back in, both hands to hips and lengthen the leg out. And then scoop it through, maybe without touching the ground, to bring it behind and take hold of the top of the foot or the ankle. Bring the knees towards each other so you've really got that lovely stretch in the quad, and then maybe raise up the opposite arm. Breathing into that lovely stretch. And then releasing the arm and releasing the leg. Lovely everybody. And just shaking out the legs. And before we come down towards the ground, we're just going to do another breath, but it's just really nice for the shoulders. This is called pacifying breath. So we inhale and bring the arms up forward above the head. And we exhale, bring them down to the sides. Inhale, bring the arms up. Let's bring the palms together and touch. And exhale, bring them down. That's it. 2 more times like this. Inhale them up. And exhale down. And inhale up. Filling the whole body with the breath. And exhale down. 3 times, inhaling up to the sides and exhaling down. Inhale up and exhale down. 1 more time like this. Inhale up and exhale down. And then 2 times, inhale up in front. Exhale down in front. 1 more time, inhale up in front. Feel that lovely length in the body. And exhale down. And then just notice the body. Notice how you're feeling. That's pacifying breath. Let's come towards the front of the mat. Feet hip distance apart. So we're going to inhale and raise the arms up again. Little bend in the knees. Exhale, forward fold into Uttanasana. Let's take hold of the big toes here. So fingers round. However bent the knees are, it really doesn't matter. Just taking hold of the big toes. And we're going to inhale and just lengthen. And exhale, bring the body back towards the legs. So inhale, maybe lengthen the arms and lengthen the body out. And exhale, lower down. And 1 more time, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, lower down. Bring the hands to each side of the feet. I'm going to step both feet back and come up into a downward dog. That's it, lovely. Shoulders are nicely away from the ears. The hips are going back towards the back of the mat. And we're just feeling that lovely length in the body. Let's take an inhale through the hands. Down through the back of the legs, rooting us to the earth. And then we're going to inhale forward to plank. Lower the knees, lower the chest between the hands. And we're just going to take a breath in crocodile. You see me properly there? Just let the heels drop out, head on the hands. Just a couple of breaths here. So just letting everything sink towards the ground. All the organs to get settled before we move. The skeleton to settle. And then lengthening the legs out, I want you to bring the hands round, bring them by the sides of the body and press the palms in. And we're just going to keep the head on the floor and the hands on the floor and just inhale and just raise the legs up. And then lower them down. And inhale up, raise them up. And exhale, lower them down. And then interlace the hands on top of the back of the hips, on top of the buttocks. Press the toes into the ground and the pelvis into the ground. And inhale, raise the head, the shoulders, draw the hands down towards the lower legs. And then exhale, lower down. Press the toes in and the hips in. And come up again, raising the arms. And exhale, lower down. And then you can either just come up like that again or rest, or maybe go for the legs and arms. So bring the legs up this time, the arms. And then exhale, lower down, release. Press into the hands, nice wide knees, back into a child's pose. Let the head be heavy, the arms be heavy. The lower back release. Take the breath into the lower back. And then walking the hands back. We're just going to do our arm stretch. So a good way to do the arm stretch is kneeling. But if it really is uncomfortable, you can even do it on a chair. But remember, if you find it difficult just kneeling flat, getting a cushion or a couple of blocks, I bring my feet apart and then I sit back. You could do it on a chair. If it's more comfortable for you kneeling, please do it kneeling. That's absolutely fine. And let's have our straps handy. Just feel that the hips, shoulders and ears are in alignment. That's it. And we'll take the strap in the right hand first of all, and we're just going to bring the arm up like we did at the beginning, bring it up. We're aiming for the elbow to be behind the head. We want it to be more behind the head. So we bring the left arm up, just once again, like we did at the beginning of the practice, just to help ease it over a bit. Take a breath here. And then sweep the left arm round and take hold of the belt wherever your arm wants to reach. And then we pull the belt. So one elbow, right elbow's heading for the ceiling, left elbow's heading for the ground. And just breathe there. That's it. Try and keep the neck nice and relaxed and the face nice and relaxed. So this is a lot of flexibility and strength is the same. You know, when we're stretching, we're also strengthening. So here, we're also, as well as we're flexing, stretching these muscles, we're also strengthening by pulling and engaging them. So all the stretching, flexing, balance, agility, all overlap. That's it, let's release. Just shake the arms out a bit. Change the strap to the left arm. And bring that round. That's it. And just bring the left arm round. Ease it up first of all. Feel that you're still evenly on the hips and sitting bones. And then bring the right arm round. Take hold of the strap and that gentle pull. So you're gently pulling the arms away from each other. Keep the top ribs nice and tucked in. Don't want too much arching in the back, so we're still thinking about that pelvis being tucked under. And just notice the breath here. That's it, another breath. And then release. Lovely. Put the straps aside and your support, if you're on a support, and just come over to seated. Lengthen the legs out and Let's first of all bring the fingers to face the bottom, the body, and just open up the chest and press the heels and the back of the legs into the ground. And just take a couple of breaths here. It's a really nice opening across the shoulders, opening across the chest. You can either stay here, or if you want to come a bit further and go into an upward plank, just press into the hands, press into the heels, maybe, whoops, my carpet moved. Raise the hips up. That's it. You might want to take the head back to look at the ceiling, but be very careful of the neck. And then just lower the hips. Come back. That's it. And back. Hands on the thighs. Just in staff pose. Take a breath here. We're going to do a gentle forward bend here, but we're going to think about the circuit of breath. So like we were doing in the forward fold, we're going to take hold of the big toes. So even if you bring the legs right up, that's absolutely fine. You might even prefer the arms between the legs. Just seeing where's comfortable for you. And we're just going to inhale exactly like we did when we were in the forward fold. And then we're just going to exhale and just curl the body, just let the body come towards the legs. And then as you breathe, think about that circuit that we've got going, that the body's all connected. The limbs are connected. So we're holding the toes. And just take a couple of breaths here as if you're breathing round in a circuit. Prana, the life force, is just gently circulating the whole body. As you're doing this, you might want to slide the legs out a little bit. So you might get a little bit more of a stretch in the lower back or in the hamstrings. Keeping the breath going. And then pressing the hands into the legs as we come back up to seated. That's it. Let's bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. One more forward fold. So we lengthen, hold onto the feet or the toes, and then we just fold forward. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Allow the hips to release. And then we're going to come up. Bring the knees together. I'm going to scoot down my mat a bit because we're going to come back onto our backs. That's bring the feet out as wide as the mat and come into that constructive rest. So we want everything to settle towards the back of the body now. Bring the legs apart, but keep your feet where they are and just gently windscreen wipe the legs. That's it. Bring the knees back up and then bring the knees to the chest. We're going to lengthen the legs up towards the ceiling. Feel that length in the back of the legs. And then I want you to keep the toes together, so sort of pigeon-footed. Keep the big toes together, so we're sticking the heels out. Then keep the heels sticking out and bring the legs apart. And keep the feet pressing through that position of the big toes wanting to come together. And just breathe into that opening there. And then bring the legs back up together. Bring the feet out, the heels are together. Charlie Chaplin feet. And then bring the legs apart here. That's it, and press through. Notice how, the different muscles we use when we just change the position of the legs. Breathe there. And then bring the legs back together. And then have the feet together so that the the legs, the feet directly, big toes pointed towards us. Keep the toes like that, and then bring the legs out one more time, wide legs. So sort of more pressing through the insteps here. And then back up to center. Lovely. Give the legs a little shake. Bring the feet to the ground. We're going to cross the right leg over the left. Bring the knees to the chest and maybe tuck the right foot under. So double bind, whichever's comfortable for you. Bring the knees towards the chest. Extend the right arm and take the knees over to the left. So it's double bind. You might need to wiggle that left shoulder out. And just a few breaths here. As you exhale, seeing where else you just soften a little bit. Breathing into the twist. And then unbinding the legs, bringing the knees back up to center. Placing the right foot on the floor and crossing the left leg over, maybe binding it round. Bring the knees to the chest and then taking them over to the right, extending the left arm. Really get the shoulders comfortable. You might need to alter the rib cage round a bit. And then just allow that weight of the legs to feed the twist, to enable the twist. Breathing here. As you inhale, you're filling the body with energy. And as you exhale, you're relaxing. Inhale, you're nourishing the body. And exhale, you're cleansing. And then unbind the legs, come back to center. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. And then circle the feet around the ankles and the hands around the wrists. That's it. And then just shake so that the elbows are really soft and the knees are soft. Just shaking there. And then just lower each leg to the ground. Take the head from side to side. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears and then lay them where they're comfortable. And maybe bring the palms to face the ceiling. The final relaxation. Just allow the body to completely release. Take a nice long deep inhalation in through the nose. And really slowly just let it out between a little tiny gap in the lips. As if it's a golden thread coming out between the lips. Allowing the body to soften as the breath releases. And then just let the breath return to its natural pace. Take your attention down to the toes and allow the toes to be really soft, particularly the joints, soft and released. The ankles are soft and released. The knees, the front of the knees, the back of the knees. The hips are released. The abdomen soft and the waist soft. Shoulders are resting against the ground, completely released. Elbows are soft. Wrists released. Fingers completely relaxed. Throat is released. Sides of the neck and the back of the neck. Back of the head's really heavy against the ground. And then notice the whole space of the jaw, the whole lower face. Just allow that to be really soft and spacious. The whole mouth is spacious, just totally released. And then around the eye sockets, think about that whole space in the skull for the eyes. And allow that whole space to completely soften. And the forehead to soften. Crown of the head to soften. Whole body to be completely released and completely relaxed. Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, Chinese philosopher and writer, he said, "A man is born gentle and weak. At death he is hard and stiff. Green plants are tender and filled with sap. At death they are withered and dry. Therefore the stiff and unbending is the disciple of death, and the gentle and yielding is the disciple of life." And slowly bringing your attention back to this morning, back to where you are in the room, the position of your body. Gently bring some movement to your toes, your fingers, and take your head from side to side, just very gently. And then just stretch the arms above the head, one more stretch of the body. And then when you're ready, bring the knees to the chest or onto the ground, feet to the ground, whichever's comfortable, to roll over to one side and come up to seated when you're ready, maybe keeping your eyes at half gaze or closed. And we'll just take this moment to just notice how we're feeling after the practice. Keep the softness with us during the day. And let's bring the hands together, rub the hands together, really create some heat. And then just cup the hands over the eyes and let that energy be absorbed into the body. And as we bring the hands down to heart center, gently opening the eyes. And I hope you've all benefited from the yoga practice today, and have a good week. Thanks for coming. Have a good week, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Mary. That was lovely.
Thanks, Jo.
Thank you, Mary. It was brilliant.
Thanks, Francoise. Thanks, Sarah.
Have a good week.
Elaine.
Thank you.
Have a good week, everybody.
You too.
See you all soon.
See you.
Bye. Keep flexible.